Yo, what is up guys? It's me exactly. If you go to a playoff game, let alone the NBA Finals, and it's a home game, but you are rooting for the away team, you go to that game knowing that you're already going to be facing all kinds of hate from the home fans at that game. At the end of game 2, when we saw those two fans fighting in the stands, which prevented LeBron James from getting into the locker room. You know, while it was crazy that it was picked up on national TV, stuff like that happens every single playoff game, I'm sure. And I'm also sure that more often than not, family members of the opposing team get heckled by home fans during the home games. We just never see or hear about it. Well, that changed yesterday as footage of a word exchange between Draymond Green's mom and a couple of Cavs fans came out after game 3. Take a look. Can't really tell what was being said, but you could clearly tell that they weren't just talking about the difference in weather in Cleveland and Cali. And yesterday, the media asked Draymond Green if he saw or heard about what happened, and of course he did. I mean, that is his mom after all. And then he kind of ripped the Cavs fan base for doing it.
Family, obviously, a Cavs fan seemed to be hassling them last night. Is everything good with that?
Yeah, they're fine. It happens every year. Fans here are just rude. So my mom can hold her own though, she's good.
Look, if she had to raise Draymond, I am sure that she is more than capable of holding her own in a fight. But that being said, attacking a player's mom because they beat your favorite team is just wrong. Like, that shouldn't even have to be said. That was a grown man. Like, didn't your mom ever teach you any better? About to get into it with a woman because your favorite team lost. You can do better than that.
Incredible opportunity. Durant for three. It's good. Kevin Durant from downtown. And Golden State takes the lead. They should get a 2-for-1 here.
That was probably the most iconic shot of this year's playoffs. You know, the shot that seemingly sealed the outcome, but it's no longer just KD making that shot that people are talking about when that play is mentioned, as his teammate Steph Curry is now once again the center of attention. Look, take another look at that play and tell me if you notice anything. Keep an eye on Curry. Keep an eye. Did you see it? Did you see that? Pause the video right there and play it back in slow motion. Is Steph Curry taking a dump on the Cavs home court? Look, I know a lot of people don't like Curry for some reason, whether they think he's overrated or just because he's on the Warrior, for whatever reason, I don't know. Some people just don't like him, but that right there is so disrespectful, and I love it. Look, as I said many times, I'm not a Warriors fan, nor am I a Cavs fan, which is why I think this is hilarious. How are we gonna pretend to take a dump on their home court after your teammate just snatched these souls out of their bodies? To me, that is on the same level of disrespectful as AI stepping over Tyronn Lue. Actually, scratch that. I think it's more disrespectful than that, because what he did was not just disrespectful to Tyronn Lue. It was disrespectful to the players, the fans, the coaches, really just the entire state of Ohio. And honestly, it really does suck extra hard if you're Tyronn Lue, because you are part of both moments. And I know a lot of Cavs fans are upset right now. Like, look, they hate Curry and the Warriors even more now, and I didn't think that was possible before, and I don't blame you. I'd be upset too if he did that to my Pistons, even if it was just during a regular season game or something. And not only are the fans most likely upset, but so are the players. As a report came out and it said the Cavs players are basically upset. But according to Curry, you know, he might have taken a dump on the court, but he didn't know what he was doing. It was all spontaneous. I wish I could have had a little more control over here. The reactions in certain situations, I really don't know what I did last night. I saw it, but I didn't know what I was doing. I even dropped my mouthpiece because I was so uncoordinated in that sense. It is what it is. Look, Curry, the fact that you said you didn't know what you were doing just makes it seem even funnier, because apparently the first thought when your teammate hits a clutch shot, the first thing that comes to your mind as it comes so fast you don't even realize that you're doing it, was to take a dump on the opposing team's home court. I mean, all that means is that you are truly a savage that just tries to hide it. See, people might say that you're humble, nice, and all this good stuff on the outside, but subconsciously, on the inside, you are a complete savage, and I respect it. So remember maybe about a week ago when I reported that the Detroit Pistons are in win now mode, and for some reason they'd be willing to trade away their draft pick in this year's draft for a veteran that will help them win now like that is possible. And then you take it back all the way to the trade deadline, when there were numerous reports about Andre Drummond and Reggie Jackson both being on the trade block, and it was a huge surprise when the trade deadline passed and both of the players were still on the team, especially in Reggie Jackson's case. And then after that, after the season was over and the Pistons realized they were stuck with Andre Drummond and Reggie Jackson, Stan Van Gundy reiterated that Reggie Jackson will be back in Detroit next year and he will be better than ever. Which is all really conflicting now, because another report just came out that said the Pistons are still trying to trade Reggie Jackson and Andre Drummond. Look, the media, you guys need to make up your minds, because these 3 or 4 stories do not co-align. First off, how the heck are the Pistons gonna be in win now mode? How is that even possible? That shouldn't be a thing. And even if they are somehow in win now mode, how are they gonna be trying to trade 2 of their best players and are somehow in win now mode? The only way I can think of is if they are trying to build a championship team on the fly, which we all know more often than not doesn't work out. The one exception was the Boston Celtics back in 08 when they went from a non-playoff team to a championship team. But then you look at the Brooklyn Nets when they tried to trade for the Boston's old big 3, old crusty rusty big 3, and look how that turned out for them. That's the reason they are where they are now. So I can only hope that the Pistons aren't actually in win now mode and are looking to trade away their young players or their future for older veterans in a chance to compete, and it's just going to backfire terribly because there's no combination, no realistic thing they can do to try and beat the Cavs or the Warriors. And overall right now, it just seems that the Pistons are one of those teams that have no idea what they are doing, as sad as it is to say. Rasheed Wallace, that name brings back so many fond memories for me as a Pistons fan. That 04 championship Pistons team is what got me into the game. And they were really one of the most unique championship teams of all time. You know, a group of relative nobodies at the time who were able to take down Shaq, Kobe, and the rest of the Lakers in just 5 games. Who knows if we will ever see something like that again. And a lot has changed in the NBA since then, offensively and defensively. That was a whole nother era of basketball back then. But it doesn't stop the players from that era from saying the teams from this era might not be as good as we think they are. As yesterday, Rasheed Wallace said the Golden State Warriors, who believe it or not, still are one of the better defensive teams in the NBA, aren't a good defensive team at all, and that the 04 Pistons would run through the NBA today. Look, here's an interview from Slam Magazine between Mike Brown and Rasheed. So Mike started off and asked if the 04 Pistons could beat today's Warriors, to which Wallace said, "Oh, we'd run through them, not even close. We play defense," which then prompted Brown to ask about the difference in their defenses and if the Warriors play similar defense to the Pistons, to which Rasheed responded by saying, "I'd agree to a certain point, but I think the Warriors' defensive strategy is I'm gonna put up more shots than you. And if you try to match that, then you're out of luck because they got exceptional shooters." So that's their whole defensive thing. I don't call it good defense if the man came down, hit a shot, or just hit a 3 and missed it, and then the Warriors went back down to the other end and scored it. That's not good defense. And that's what happens a lot in this game now. They're not shutting nobody down. Even though you can't shut a scorer down, you can slow him down. With the way that we played it in Detroit, we'd lock players down. The things that we did in Detroit will never be done again. Now, he's both right and wrong at the same time. Look, as a Pistons fan, I'm gonna try and remain unbiased as I possibly can when I say this. But defensively, of course, the 04 Pistons team was better than really any other team in the NBA today, but the rules were a lot different back then. Hand checking was still a thing which the Pistons were always doing, and there is no denying that the overall game was still a bit more physical back then, which allowed defenders to get away with more stuff. And the whole thing about the Warriors defense, or the only defense that has been played in the NBA today, is just hoping the other teams misses and you make your shots, it is kind of disrespectful to the teams that actually play defense, and the Warriors are one of those teams. Just because they can't hand check or touch the offensive players, it makes it harder to play defense. So defense just looks a lot different in today's NBA than it did back then. That being said, there are some teams in the NBA that do just hope the other team misses and they make a bunch of shots. And as for who would win, it would depend a lot on the era. If it was back in the 04 with the rules they had then, the Pistons would most definitely have a chance at beating the Warriors. But in today's game, we can't be as physical on defense or hand check. The Warriors would be the heavy favorites to win. And that's my opinion at least, but that's going to lead us to the question of the day. Who would you take, the 04 Pistons or the 2017 Warriors? As for the era, in both eras, who would win in each? Let me know what you think down in the comment section below, but now let's take a look at what you guys said in yesterday's video. And yesterday, after the Warriors went up 3-0 in the finals, and with them seemingly about to sweep the entire 2017 playoffs, I asked you guys if they are the best team in NBA history. And here's what you guys said. 2017 Golden State Warriors is easily the best team in NBA history. They literally have almost no bad players except for Zaza and some irrelevant bench players. I mean, they have 2 superstars, 2 great all-stars, and 3 other great role players. And they also have the best offense and defense in the NBA. Best team ever? We can't directly compare across generations, but we can only look at how they do against their actual competition. IDK, the Warriors would beat the 96 Bulls, but they sure as heck would dominate the 2017 insert team here. And no team in NBA history has embarrassed their competition as thoroughly and consistently. So yes. Question of the day. If the Warriors sweep the Cavs, you had to put them at least in the 2nd place. It's impossible to say whether or not they are or aren't the best team in NBA history because you really can't compare across eras like that. But you can say this with 100% certainty. The 2017 Golden State Warriors are the best offensive team by far that the NBA has ever seen. That is just a fact. You cannot deny that. Like I said, to leave your answers for today's question of the day down in the comment section below. But other than that, thank you once again for watching the video. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more daily NBA videos. And until tomorrow, keep getting the bucks, Team ICC, and I'm out of here. Peace.